Imagine getting an Oscar while hiding your love life. Some of Hollywood's most famous faces went through that. One star lived with a man for 12 years in a house by the beach. Everyone thought they were just living together. Someone else was caught kissing a man in public and sued a comic for making fun of it. To hide the truth, one actor made up 3 dead women and a dead son. However, death can make everything clear. Millions of people never knew what was revealed in hospital records, wills, and statements made on the deathbed. It's Rock Hudson. Rock Hudson was born in Wetka, Illinois, on November 17, 1925. His real name was Roy Harold Scherer, Jr. Roy's father left him when he was 4 years old, during the Great Depression. He left behind a broken home and a boy who was desperate to feel loved. He had to deal with that pain his whole life. He needed fame more than anything else. It made him feel like he was important, but he had to pay a very high price to become Rock Hudson. He went so far as to have surgery to lower his voice. It made him never sing again. He was 6 feet 5 inches tall and looked like a movie star, but he was scared inside. He didn't want the world to see a certain part of himself. Henry Wilson, his director, set up a fake marriage between him and his secretary Phyllis Gates in 1955. It was one of the coldest publicity stunts in Hollywood history. It was an easy plan. Stop telling people that Hudson was gay. They were married for exactly 3 years. In secret, Hudson kept living his truth. In public, he smiled for the cameras and pretended to be America's hottest single man. Then June 1984 came along. Everything changed because of a small bump on his neck. It was copapism, which is a clear sign of AIDS. Hudson told people it was because she was weak. He tried to hide it. Soon, though, he did something that no other big star had tried to do. He became famous on July 25, 1985. He was the first famous person to say it out loud. He had AIDS. The fallout was terrible. He sent 4 guys he had been seeing letters without giving their names. The very next day, one of them, a 22-year-old, said they were positive. He was only 59 years old when he died on October 2, 1985. But before he left, he broke the fearful silence that many people had been living in. The news of his declaration shook the world and changed the way people always talked about AIDS and being gay. Robert Burr. Raymond Burr had a different secret. Born on May 21, 1917 in British Columbia, he was best known as Perry Mason, who could not be shaken. But away from the cameras, he was making up a lie that was trickier than anything on TV. He said he had been married 3 times. He said that one wife died in a plane crash and the other died of cancer. He even said that leukemia killed his 10-year-old son. But it wasn't true at all. People felt bad for him even though he didn't have a wife or a son. He just made up a lot of fake disasters. There was an FBI case in 1961. The American Bar Association had records that said Burr was a known sex offender. At that point, Burr made up another fake wife. This time her name was Laura Andrina Morgan, and she was also luckily dead of cancer. He was married to actress Isabella Ward for real once, in 1948. It was over quickly, and she later said she had never heard anything about his son or claimed wives. The truth wasn't bad, though. It was calm and very real. The 2 men met on the set of Perry Mason in 1960. Ben Weitz was 17 years younger and had served in the Korean War. They became partners after becoming friends and worked together for 33 years. In California's Dry Creek Valley, they bought a farm, ran an orchid nursery, and made their home together. Burr never said it in public, but he called Robert his husband behind closed doors. They owned a 40-acre ranch in Soma County and a private island in Fiji where they could be alone. There will be no lies, plots, or cameras. Burr died of liver cancer on September 12, 1993, when he was 76 years old. Robert was right there with him. As a last honest act, Burr left his whole $32 million estate to the man he loved. It was his way of finally telling everyone the truth, Cary Grant, that he could never say while he was living. Cary Grant was very girly and beautiful. Beautiful smile, well-groomed speech, and always looking great. But there was a secret behind the Hollywood picture that people had been talking about for years. He lived with another actor, Randolph Scott, from about 1932 to 1944. It's not just any house. It's a 5,530-foot beachfront chateau that was built for silent movie star Norma Talmadge. For more than 10 years, they lived together on and off. It turned out to be one of the most talked about secrets in Hollywood. It wasn't just they split the rent. Some of their friends and family talked about something much deeper. Richard Blackwell, an actor, said they were crazy about each other. A famous photographer said he had slept with both men, and a famous Hollywood pimp named Scotty Bowers said he set up the meetings himself. But the most shocking part came after a while. A friend says that Grant told them in the 1970s that meeting Scott was like falling in love at first sight. He went so far as to say that his own libido changed over time. He was gay as a child, mixed as an adult, and finally straight as an old man. He said it would be like acting and that it would be boring to only play one type of part. Grant wasn't just talked about in whispers. It is said that he and Scott were caught kissing in public one time, and some say they got married in Mexico without anyone knowing. It is said that all 4 of Grant's ex-wives accused him of being gay. It was made fun of by actor Chevy Chase on TV in 1980, and Grant sued him. I'm Ramon Novarro. He was born in Mexico in 1899 and became a famous silent movie actor. He made over $100,000 per movie when he was at the top of his game. His barely there outfits made the news in Ben-Hur in 1925. He even got a $10,000 raise from MGM just for reading his fan mail. A lot of people in Hollywood knew Novarro was gay, but he was afraid to show it. He believed in God very much, and his Catholic faith made him feel torn. It was his boss, Louis B. Mayer, who tried to get him to marry someone fake to hide the truth. Novarro said no. Not long after that, MGM fired him. His real friends were the composer Harry Partch, the writer Herbert Howe, and a rich man called Noel Sullivan. But he was having a hard time behind closed doors. He turned to drinking because of the stress and shame. After that came the horror. On October 30th, 1968, Paul and Tom Ferguson, 2 brothers who were only 22 and 17 years old, came to his house. They had heard that he had thousands of dollars hidden in his house. To get to the money, they tied him up, beat him, and tortured him. There wasn't any. They only took $20 that they found in his robe and left. Navarro, who was 69 years old, choked to death on his own blood. It was that night that the truth about his life made the news. Not only Hollywood was shocked by his death. During that time, it showed how dangerous it was to be gay in public. Navarro became a symbol of what a lot of people went through alone. Salmano. In just 37 years, Salmano's life was full of success, rebellion, love, and tragedy. He was born in the Bronx, New York, on January 10, 1939. His parents came to the United States from Sicily. His dad made coffins. Sal joined a street gang when he was 8 years old. He was caught robbing at age 10. He had a choice, the court said. You should either go to youth detention or start acting school. He made a choice that changed his life. He was famous by 1955. He played Plato in Rebel Without a Cause. Plato was a shy and troubled kid who was in love with James Dean's character. In a big Hollywood movie, it was the first time a character played by a gay teen was out in public. The truth behind the scenes made it even more powerful. Nicholas Ray, James Dean, and Salmano were all gay. S didn't try to hide the truth. He said he was gay in an interview in 1972. He made it clear that he loved both men and women. At that time, Hollywood almost never saw someone be that honest. He was with actor Jill Howarth for a long time. Some people called her his beard, which meant they thought she was only there to hide the fact that he was gay. But they really did have a link, even though some people didn't believe it. The movie Exodus, which came out in 1960, was the high point of his career. During the Holocaust, he played a person named Dove Landau. The part got him a Golden Globe and his second Oscar nod. After that, though, the offers slowed down. The movie business didn't know what to do with him. Chose to be on stage instead of going after big parts. Fortune and Men's Eyes, a bold play with LGBTQ themes, he both directed and acted in. Both in New York and Los Angeles, it did well. It looked like he was finally coming back around the middle of the 1970s. It made him happy to be able to act again after getting a part in the play P.S. Your Cat is Dead. But on February 12, 1976, everything came to an end. Around 10:100 p.m., S had just gotten home from practice. Someone beat him up as he got out of his car in the West Hollywood parking lot behind his apartment. Someone cut him in the heart. Ray Evans, his friend, saw that he was bleeding and tried to help. S was able to walk a short distance before giving up. He passed away at 11:55 p.m. He only had $20 on him. He was only 37 years old. Police caught 17-year-old pizza delivery boy Lionel Ray Williams guilty of murder. Not only for killing Sal, but also for 10 other thefts. He was found guilty in 1979. He got 51 years in prison, but there are still questions. Williams has always said he didn't kill S. His wife said he came home that night with blood on his shirt, and jail staff said he admitted it while he was there. Still, in 2024, a film called Unseen Innocence said he was wrongfully convicted. Sal Mano was laid to rest at Gate of Heaven Cemetery in Hawthorne, New York, on February 17, 1976. James Dean seemed like the ideal Hollywood outlaw. Cool, good-looking, and mysterious. But there was a secret behind that picture that almost ended his career before it even began. Dean was being blackmailed by a past male lover just days before East of Eden made him famous.